Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special board meeting at the District Office Boardroom. Today is Thursday, July 19th, 2012, and it is 6:05. Ms. Rodriguez, can you please call to order?
Trustees present: Kim, Valenzuela, Romo, Duarte, Aguilar. You have a full quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Conde, can you please lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Conde. Moving on to item C, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. I would like to amend the motion to table item number 13. And that's
item G13. Is that what you're saying?
yes, recommended actions, item G13.
May I ask why?
I know we received this audit last week, but I need time to digest it. I can't really talk about it today. If we can move it to the July 31st meeting, I would really appreciate it.
Can you add up on the G1 too? Approve the minute and the G1 and 2. G1, G2.
Okay. To table?
Yes, for the next regular meeting.
Okay. I just have that we need to caution on the pre-list due to the fact that these are payments that need to be paid.
Okay, just G1 then.
Okay. Mrs. Romo?
For me, a table for G1 for only Linda Luna.
No, well, hold
All
on.
G1?
Yeah, if it's tabled,
Okay,
it's
that's correct. No problem. G1 table.
okay. So the motion is amended to reflect to table item G1 and G13. Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay. Motion to amend the approval of agenda passes 4-1. Okay, now can I have approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
All
I
in
have
favor
discussions.
of the motion?
I have discussions.
Mr. Kim?
Well, I understanding is, first of all, regular meeting, we should keep at the schedule. As a board member, as elected person, they're supposed to schedule our regular meeting schedule that is commitment with the community. Everybody will understand they have some emergency matters, but they should be tried to be there. I cannot come, so you have to hold the meeting or postpone the meeting. That's not the community's benefit. That we owe to the community to keep our regular schedule to the community. And the other reason is our agenda. Like agenda schedule, we're supposed to be approved by the board to what schedule we're going to do it. And what I notice, I keep complaining, our agenda keep changing by the president's power or the city, all the administrations. I don't know who keep changing, but the agenda, when they change the form of the agenda, has to be approved by the board before they were starting. And they have to submit as agenda to approve it. And the other one is the pay pre-release or the minute lots of things we supposed to taken care of by the regular meeting. Last time I agreed to have a special meeting because Mr. Fugali was saying yes, some time consuming things. So okay, then we called a special meeting to postpone the meeting if necessary, and something timely matter things we need to put in the special meeting, not to order like this is like a regular meeting. They call the special meeting, but it's a regular meeting with the 1 day notice. It shouldn't be like this.
Okay, Mr. Kim, thank you.
That's why my argument with our agenda. We're supposed to be more officially to keep our commitment with the community. Our transparency is supposed to be kept to the community, because all the backup items just 1 day is not enough for the community.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kim. Moving on to item D, public comments from the public.
No, this one is the second as a discussion. We're supposed to vote it for the approval agenda.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yes, you are
That's
correct.
correct.
I have a first and a second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye. Aye.
No.
Okay, aye. Motion passes to approve the agenda as with the amendments for 1. Items from the comments from the public. Chris de la Rosa? We do have bilingual translators out in the hall if anybody needs any translation. Spanish translation. Tenemos ¿qué? Intérpretes en español. Si necesitan interpretación, pueden ir al pasillo, agarrar sus audífonos. Gracias. Mr.
Okay,
de la
thank you.
Rosa.
Good evening, board members and administrators and people from the public. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. I didn't come to the last board meeting, but I was fortunate enough to watch it on the internet. And quick comment on it. It's very neat, very cool little thing you got there going. I'm not too happy with what it costs, but it's a pretty good tool to have if you want to stay informed. One of the things that I spoke to Mr. Fergali about earlier was when you guys passed a resolution to commence layoffs on the employees from ACES, Projects Office Assistant, and a couple other positions. In the dialogue that you guys had, and you can check in the minutes if it reflects in the minutes, is that it was kind of presented as one big group. I know on paper it wasn't, but in the discussion and dialogue it was, where at one point somebody asked how much is it impeding on the general fund, and a $500,000 number came out. I just want to caution you guys to that dialogue. Go back, get the correct information. I spoke to Mr. Fergali about it as to giving you guys the correct information. I just don't want you to leave with a number in your head and having it set as that, okay? Because it's not that much. The interest in possibly retaining some of those positions, like campus security and liaisons and stuff like that, those very part-time positions at 3 hours a day, and possibly looking at other avenues of how to fund them. All that, it's good. It's fine with us for you guys to explore that and look into it, and that's what we're counting on. Okay, so I was happy to hear that administration was looking that route. Some of the other positions, they weren't mentioned, like projects office. I mean, that's an empty seat right now, in all reality. And some others, migrant, those are decisions that the migrant parents made and stuff like that. So I just wanted to make sure you guys are clear on that, and hopefully Mr. Fergali will get you the information that, exactly what it is. Now, the second thing is in the classified report, there's a position for approval for librarian at Kennedy Garden site. We CSEA urges the board to approve that position. If there's a question right now lingering that if it's maybe somebody's in the opinion that it's too many hours for that position, or they'd like to see something else, well then that needs to be identified to us. But the whole process went through already. Everybody got their fair chance to apply and interview. So our suggestion is fill the position. If you feel that you need more support in another school site, you can always move the employee to the other school site. But as far as the position was opened, was flown, it was dealt with fair and square, and we're urging you guys to approve. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. De La Rosa. I have some questions for you, but I'm not going to ask them right now. Thank you. Next speaker. Oh no, wait, hold on. Mr. Cooper.
Good evening. With
Good evening.
82 layoffs and more openings on the horizon due to retirements and resignations, it is important to remind the school board that the teachers have class size limits, and they're not averages, they're limits. K through 3 is a district-wide average of 28.5 with an individual class size maximum of 30. 4 through 6, district-wide average of 32, but the individual classroom size is limit shall be 33. 7 through 12, it's in general 34, except like the band, they're allowed to have more because a band of 34 wouldn't be very remarkable. Industrial arts has less, keyboarding has more, science lab has less, etc., etc. So although Ann Mallory likes to tell you what to do, this ACT CUSD contract is binding. So I'd like to see a staffing plan from the district administration on how they're going to staff these classrooms next year. Because with 80 plus vacancies due to layoffs, resignations, retirements, I simply think it's impossible. And if your intention is to violate the contract, we need to find that out sooner than later so we can take that up with administration and the board. Furthermore, I want to remind you that our two QEIA schools, Maines and Rockwood, made huge gains. And you talk to the teachers there, it's because of the low class size. And I'm talking about the year before last and also after school tutoring, which the district pretty much eliminated this past year. So I really hope you're planning to keep class size down at all schools, because we know that education costs, but it certainly pays. We do not want to leave our district fiscally rich, but educationally bankrupt. Please do the right thing. Reinstate the teachers, lower class size, and let's have a good school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Okay, moving on to item E. There are no more speakers. Superintendent's report. Mr. Fagali. Oh,
Ms.
hold
Randall?
on, Ms. Randall.
Good evening, board members. I'm just proud to let the board know here in the board meeting that our district did receive our 2012-2013 apportionment deferral waiver. And what that means is that the district will receive its apportionment for July, August, October, and March of 2012. 2012-13. So I just wanted to report that to the board. That's a fantastic gain for our district. And we will have cash available to us moving forward this year. There is a possibility due to the EPA, which is the Protection Act or whatever, that we may need a TRAN in the latter part of the year for the months, more than likely April, May. We might need a TRAN to help us get through the end of the year, but beginning the year, the district will have cash available to meet our obligations. So I just wanted to report that to the board.
Ms. Randall, has Ms. Mallory answered to our approved budget?
Not at this time, but I would also like to report to the board that I did have a meeting with ICOE to go over questions that they had, and they wanted a little bit more detail. So I had that meeting for 2.5 hours today, and I believe that I have satisfied all of their questions, and it was a very lengthy meeting. I presented and gave very detailed descriptions as to what was inclusive in the budget. I also included in that discussion, I went over everything with Rory Livingston, our advisor, prior to the meeting. So he was very satisfied in the responses that was given to ICOE as well. So it's still the hope of the district that we will have an answer prior to the August 15th deadline. However, the county does have up until August 15th to respond, whether they approve or disapprove the budget. And right now, that's all I know as far as that goes. But it is my hope that we will have an answer soon from the county office.
Did
Yes,
they
ma'am.
give any indication as to when they might have an answer?
Well, I know that the county superintendent is on vacation, and I know that they will, and I know that they're meeting with the county superintendent next week to go over not just Calexico's budget, but the county-wide budget. So it's our hope that, I'd really hope by the end of the month, the end of July, or early August, we would have a letter. But, Ed Code states that the county has up until August 15th to provide us with a letter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
May 3 or 4 example for this question, the Mallory's question, for example.
Sure. One of the questions was they noticed that there was an increase to the supply budget. Well, since, they've required us to include our carryover in our revenue, prior to the meeting today, they've required us to match revenues and expenditures. So whatever I budget for revenue and carryover, I have to show the expense. So we know that we need supplies district-wide, so that's just kind of where in the budget we included it there. They wanted to obviously talk about staffing for next year. And, at this point in time, we are holding true to what we've acted on as a district. So and there is no board action that says otherwise. So just kind of reaffirming what we've already talked about. They also talked about, just different things like the Jefferson project. Do we anticipate completion of the project? And have we made arrangements to, if there is additional expenses, how does the district plan to cover those expenses? And, we have the match. And I just had to provide them where in the budget those types of things are available for them to see. So just those, really just more detailed or just an explanation as to why things are the way that they are.
Simple. Okay.
Thank you. Any more questions, board members? Thank you.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Sorry, Mr. Kim.
Okay, you're saying do we have the four deferrals waived it, so we're gonna have enough cash every month?
Based on that based on that information, yes, we should. We're going to receive our apportionment every month.
So we don't need a trans loan then?
Not at the beginning of the year. No, we don't.
So actually, anyways, we've been rejected. Our understanding, we've been
The
rejected. Trans,
Yes,
and then
sir.
we don't have to do anything yet until we see some future pictures.
More than likely not until January.
Okay, that's what I was chasing last time when I against the trans loans. I'm glad this came out the picture, and the other one is you were saying Miss Mallory was questioning the staffing.
Yes.
And I also, Mr. Cooper was questioning the staffing. And I'm the one, I believe to be the board member to representing the community. That's one of the major concerns, because that is how whatever we adjust money, we has to be minimized if bad affecting our students. It's very questionable with the 80 teachers less. And when I see the budget, we have a $4.5 million less on the staffing, for the teachers. How are we going to handle that? And also, at the cash, you said you're going to have enough cash. And same time, we have a $2.5 million increasement of the administration salaries. So how are we going to handle this one?
Can you pose a question? Because I want to answer
Yes, okay. Stepping was questioning, we have a $4.5 million less for the teacher's salary.
Correct.
And without the changing that number, how you going to be completing the right amount of the students, the teachers for the students?
Oh.
That's my question, because it's going to be almost impossible to keep the $4.5 million salary cut, and we get the right amount of the students in the classroom. I don't think the picture's there. And same time, we have a $2.5 million increasement of the management salary for that. So how came out, we cut the $4.5 million from the teachers, and we increase the administration salaries. What kind of a budget we can have at that?
Okay, well, I'm going to speak to what I do know.
Yes.
In regard to the staffing, which Ann Mallory or their office was asking, and I'll speak to what I've been told from the county offices. Historically, the district has done the layoffs, and they go through the process, but they then hire everyone back. And it is the concern of the county office that the district cannot afford to hire everyone back. So that's where they want to know, has there been a change since the board action that was taken in February? And at this time, there has been no change. So that's kind of the questioning that was coming from the county office. In regard to the management staffing, or the management salaries increasing $2.5 million, I don't believe that to be accurate. There has been no increase in management.
I got in black and white here.
And I'd be happy to take a look at it with you.
We have the $568,000 for the management salaries, administrative salaries, and we increased it for the $3 million.
And I'd have to see what you're looking at, but
Didn't everybody take an increase?
Everybody
Everybody
got
took a step increase?
Well,
Everybody?
whoever was entitled to a step increase. We never froze the increases, Mr. Kim. We never froze the increases.
You mean we never froze it or approve it?
No, we never froze the increases. Employees that are entitled to a step and column increase or a step increase.
No, I'm not talking about the increase to their step and column. I'm talking about the salary, whole total of the salary budget. We spent the salary for the administrators last year, the $600,000. And this year we're going to spend administrator for the classified administrator salary is $3 million, which increased of $2.5 million.
Excuse
But
me, Kim.
I think it's just a budget. It's not.
It's budget.
it's
okay?
you know what?
But I'm talking about the budget. How we going to do it? That's what I'm questioning.
It looks like it's a classification change, Mr. Kim. In this
Administrator.
object code that you're, 2300 is not specific to manager. There's a lot of things that are encompassed in object code in the 2300, so it's not just specifically management administrator's salary. These are classified positions, and we, change object codes, or we use different object codes. So this is not necessarily management.
But there's a clearly title classified administrators.
Well, if you look at where it says on this particular budget that you gave me, if you look at the 2200s, it has taken a negative 55%. When we do reclassification or when we correct object codes.
No, I'm talking about the other ones.
No, I understand what you're saying, but
Yes.
but in the scheme of an increase to management, that's not a fair assumption, because when we reclassify, or not reclassify, but when we code them correctly, then you're going to see the difference between object codes. So I can tell you of a certain that in this object code 2300 that it's not just management or management salaries. It's for supervisors, and it's not just that. It's classified positions, and there are other classifications that fit in a 2300 object code, not just management.
But they also still as a management, as the administrators.
Okay, well,
Okay, and
understand.
are you understanding? Are you telling me about 55% of the minus classified employee salaries?
yeah,
As
I
you
can see
mentioned
that.
it.
Mhm.
So you cut from the classified employee salaries, and we pay more. We hire more administrator, a supervisor.
No, we didn't. We had, well,
But the
per
budget,
action of
budget
the
itself,
board, we
budget
haven't
itself,
hired any more.
we cut the money from the classified employees to, and then we pay more for the supervisor.
And I just want to
Budget.
just say it again, that, as we correctly code them and/or in the system, there are the object or the account lines, and it has to be done the right way for the state for it to be a valid account line. So a lot of times in budget prep and in in the budget building process, then we use different object codes, and a lot of people fall within that. And I can tell you of a certain that's not administrators. There are other supervisors outside of the management team that work here at the district, and it just is a object code classification. And I'd be happy to provide you with the chart of accounts so that you would know that what encompasses the objects in the 2300s.
Yes, yes. I every time I like the detailed information, but seem to me like we spend more money with more chief than Indians. And also we are trying to without changing about our budget, the $4.5 million for the teachers, how we gonna get the more teachers to at least certain amount of the students in the classroom? I have a big question, big concerns. My projection is going to be a lot of sub teachers going to be starting in the starting with the sub teachers and the start of the school years.
And I
so
think
we're going to be a lot of chaos there.
And I think, Mr. Fagali, if you want to comment on, the staffing or what our intent is.
Mr. Kim, and you've heard us speak, and you heard again tonight, we can't change anything in that budget regarding staffing until after it's approved. If we make any changes, if we were to increase the $4.5 million into the 1100s, which is our certificated staff, it would be, the budget would be either declared negative or probably negative.
It would be not approved.
Not approved somehow.
Yeah, but if we cut some other areas, then we can be the same amount of budget. We cut one side, we include the other side. It should be okay, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure we can cut. We have a lot of our money is in categorical funds. We can't use that for just general fund expenditures, and that's what we're talking about. 1100 is generally our regular teaching staff, and that has to come out of general fund.
Yes, but a lot of teaching staff will still come out from the categorical fund too, no?
And those are taken care of in the categorical area.
At this point, I don't think we can make any changes because the budget is sitting at the County of Imperial with then Mallory. So with that, I call for the question.
Second.
I have a call for the question and a second. All in favor of the call for the question?
Aye.
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 Thank you,
Call for the
Mama.
question, 4-1. Mr. Fagali.
Thanks, Mai. Some items, I want to thank Measure H for funding our SROs for 12-13. And Measure H, we were scheduled to go to Measure H for our crossing guards, and there was some confusion. And that, fortunately, Measure H committee tabled it. We will be going to them in August to request that that Measure H fund our crossing guards.
So do we have funded the crossing guard or not?
We will have to fund them until we will fund them unless Measure H authorizes it.
So they're not decided yet.
Right now, we have it budgeted.
Oh, we have our own budget.
Right, and it's our budget. We're going to have crossing guards, whether Measure H funds it or we fund it. We can't do without them.
So last time they didn't approve it, Major H?
No, they weren't. They didn't make a decision because we weren't there to request it.
I see. So if they don't want to fund it, maybe we can have, if they don't want to fund it, maybe we can request to the city to handle it.
I'm sorry?
Maybe if the Major H didn't fund it, instead of refunding to crossing guard, is we can request the city take over to crossing guard. That's a street is, street is responsible of the cities.
We can also co-fund it too.
Well, I agree that they should be funding it.
Yeah.
But they're probably in the same financial position we are. We can go to them and ask them to fund it. But regardless, we will have the crossing guards.
And also I like to know when our superintendents go to city to asking the funds or not. I like to know, or I believe the board members should know our superintendent's activities. Informing his good or bad, we should know what the superintendents go to the city to representing the school district. And that's one thing. If those kind of major things, if we have some plan, maybe a board member can be attended there too.
I'll make it a point.
Please.
Thank you.
But that is part of your job,
Yes.
to get us funding other places.
And we're working on that.
So we hope you are doing your duties.
Then I had lunch with Chief Nujar, and in our discussion, one came up regarding high school closed campus, and that's I told him it's in the discussion stage, that no decision has been made on that, and we discussed the possibilities, a lot of the pros and cons, and eventually we would seriously consider the closing of the campus. The other thing that we talked about, or that he mentioned, was Belcher Street, the area where normally those the catering trucks are. He's talking about during the school day just closing that street, which would force any cars coming where we had the barriers, make that left turn, which would give our students free access to cross over from the library and so forth. That's the city's deal, but he shared that with me.
So lunchtime, still the lunch truck going to come then?
Well, the lunch is a problem. But it's not a problem for us as long as they stay on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Our contention has been that if the catering trucks are going to be on the streets, they have a right to be there. But that's a city situation. We don't want to be responsible if one of our students gets salmonella or some other type of food poisoning. I don't want to see any of the community members, first of all, to get sick. Secondly, I don't want us to be in a lawsuit. So that's why I wrote to the city, if you remember, I wrote to the city and said, we're going to open that street, and if you want to give them a license to be there, then it's a city's situation.
But if we close the street during the school hours, that means they should not come.
Well, that's what the city is considering.
The city would close the street, not the
us.
school district.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. The next item is the Google tablets, which has really been a very hot item, for example. And as many of our staff who went to the tech workshop and came back all excited, they were talked about the Google tablet but instead of some of the iPads. And I've asked Mr. Gonzalez from Kiki if he would be willing, and some of his staff would be willing to pilot the Google Nexus tablet. It would be one class in each of the 4 major disciplines. And he did a quick summary as a comparison between the Nexus and the Apple iPad. And he felt that his staff would be willing to do that. We would do one in English, one in math, one in science, and one in social studies. The other thing is that we asked Mr. Gonzalez to contact the Google people to possibly get them involved, and maybe they would help fund it, if not fund the whole thing. And there's your comparison cost-wise, and some of the pros and cons. We're not doing away with the iPad, but we just, if the Google is what they claim it to be, and it's supposed to be able to do almost everything that the iPad does, if that's the case, and we can get it for 200 versus 500, then we have 2.5 times as many students receiving that technology. So we thought we'd try it as an experiment, as a pilot for the year with 4 classes. And he is willing to take it on, and he felt his staff would be willing to take it on as an experiment. And then at the end of the year, we could evaluate the tablet and see if it's really worth the difference in money, if it can do what they claim it to do. There's about a 2-minute video on YouTube.
Okay.
If you'd like to see it.
Sure. Mr. Fergali, how many teachers ended up going? And principals?
When?
How many?
How many total?
How many went?
I think about 35, 36. You remember?
That's it? No, it was more than
No,
that.
I'm sorry. It was 10 from each of the schools. About 75 or 80 went. Was that right?
That's great.
I'm sorry, yeah. And many of them,
Yeah,
whatever comments, I send them to you all.
we got the comments, and
There was
I read them all,
basically a
and they were
principal
very
and
good.
about 10, and they were all excited about it. So to me, what the board's approval of that was really an investment. So, and the only negative that Mr. Gonzalez was sharing with me today was, and also Dr. Spencer, was they wanted the tools in their hands. So this is a possibility of trying to get it to them. But here's just a short, about a 2-minute YouTube on the next.
Within the last year or so, just last October, we announced Ice Cream Sandwich, which is the biggest release of the Android operating system so far.
We were taking the best of Android and basically optimizing it for all devices, including tablets.
We were off to a great start for Ice Cream Sandwich, but it wasn't nearly far enough.
So we put Android under the microscope.
In Android 4.1, Jelly Bean, that's the name, we worked really, really hard on making everything smoother, making everything faster.
And at the same time, we had a digital content store that was constantly expanding its offering.
We released Google Play, which ties together all of our properties around music, books, movies, games, and apps, so the users have one place to go for all of that content.
We wanted a device that was optimized in every way for the great content that you can get via Google Play.
It would have the portability of a paperback book, but be connected to the entire digital world of all kinds of entertainment.
It had to have a really crisp, high-resolution screen. We had to put a front-facing camera on it, and it had to be really fast.
Well, it needs to be really light, really comfortable to hold.
Nexus 7 is the world's first 7-inch tablet with a quad-core processor.
It's really nice for watching movies edge to edge on a 720p screen with all the sensors you'd expect for interactive motion-controlled games.
We thought about every detail about how the hardware was shaped to make it really comfortable. The curve of the backside, texturing of the grip.
This size is kind of perfect. It fits in your hand. It doesn't tire your arm out. It's perfect for reading, on planes, in bed, in a chair, at the beach, at the pool. You're walking around with all your stuff pretty much in your pocket.
With a powerful tablet like this, every touch matters. We wanted you to be able to almost feel every pixel as you touched it.
We declared a war on lagginess. You'll notice when you pick up a Jelly Bean device just how smooth it is.
With Nexus 7, we're bringing the latest and greatest Android technology and the best content in the world from Google Play into a single device and experience that you can take with you anywhere.
The thing that excites me is that this device is actually created for the content.
It's already a constant companion for me. I've taken it on a camping trip to read books.
I want to be showing it off to my mom or my dad or my daughter.
Personally, I'm looking forward to seeing my friends tell me about their Nexus 7 tablets.
This will be the first tablet I bought for my parents, so I'm pretty excited.
If you'd like me to email you each a copy of that, I can do that for you.
Sure. I like the words free on this paper.
Pardon me?
I like the words free on this paper.
Well, that's another thing. If we get an application from Google, you only need to get one application and you can share with everybody.
Yeah.
With Apple, each individual must pay
License.
for their own.
Yeah.
But we want to do it as a pilot, and we're going to do it with categorical funding. So we'll be bringing that back for your approval next board meeting or so.
I've got a question on that. As we move forward in terms of those tablets, how will future school sites be determined or be, selected?
Well, I think
Or
really
are
that
we, is this kind of like a precursor to transitioning to district-wide?
well, obviously we can buy a whole lot more, and we're not going to stop buying the iPads because we have some schools that, for example, Jefferson is loaded with iPads. I would think that once it's piloted and the staff gets the people that are piloting shared with the rest of the staff district-wide, as in a comparison, then it would be up to the individual schools with their categorical funds to make the decisions to buy either a tablet or an iPad.
So you're saying that the tablets that are being bought and piloted out at Kiki are going to be bought out of their own categorical funds?
No, yes.
Yes? Okay.
And, but we're not, and so that's where, we're going to spend, and he uses 36 as a number. So if we buy 144 of them, we're looking at about $30,000.
I would just add that that in order, I understand it being a pilot thing for a school, but I would also like to see if we could allocate some of those tablets, maybe whatever number you determine that would be good, to have it as a resource for each school site, whether it's 3 or 5 or 10, I don't know, whatever amount you think would be appropriate, but if they have that as a resource, teachers can check it out. Those who are interested can, like you said, have it in their hands, play with it, or use it as a resource. I don't know. Just an idea.
I don't see any problem at all.
I don't see why not if we have categorical funds. I don't see if we were going to fund one school to be as a pilot program, then offer that same opportunity, even if it's on a limited basis to all school sites.
We'll talk to the principals about
Thank you.
Good idea, Norma.
So you're going to bring the agenda to approve it.
that. I'm sorry?
You're going to bring the agenda to
Yeah, absolutely, right.
Suggestions.
For the next
I have 2 more items. There's been a lot of talk about how much water and the cost of water. So I asked Maya and her staff if they would do something to give us a report. What you have here is a report for 2008 through 2012. And I have some numbers here. In addition to that, if we compare the the first 5 months of each of the 5 years through May, the only year that expended less funds for water than this year was 2008. The irony is, if you look at the other end, the total by the end of the year, it had spent the most amount of money. But there has been a decrease all the way through. So we are not expending more money on water as been claimed. I thought we had heard enough about it that we needed to do some research. And so I thought I'd share that with you. The last item is one that I'm really happy to announce, and that is Mrs. Montes, who teaches AP Spanish. 39 of her 41 students who took the AP exam got a passing grade of 3, 4, or 5. Only 2 did not, and I'm hoping to hear from some of the other staff as to how some of the others have done. So the AP is well on its way. That's all I have. Thank you.
Good. You going to mention anything on the waiver, or my...
Well, Maya had already
Okay.
mentioned it, so
She
stole my thunder.
Well, good job anyways on the paperwork for the waiver. I know that you and Rory sat down for hours to make sure that these papers were intact with Arnold and Aaron and stuff, so thank you very much. Board members' comments. Board members' comments will be 3-minute limitation, and we move these up to the front of the meeting due to the fact that by the time we finish the meeting and we give our board members' comments, meeting's over. It's past midnight. Nobody's here. So there's no reason why to have them at the end. So now we have moved them up forward. So if any of the members have any comments, they can make them at this time. I will start with Mrs. Aguilar.
I just want to share that I'd like to see that we, as a district, consider allocating the monies to the site, and that they become responsible for their expenditures and budget management, and that way they can address their needs in a timely manner. The other second point I want to caution is in regards to the consideration of closing of the high school. Some of the things that I think are important to consider is how it will impact safety by closing the school site. I understand, we create a safety net for our students, but at the same time, we have to consider staffing. That means we will need to have more campus security, and I'm saying specifically campus security because campus security gets trained on specific things to watch out for, gang type activity and so forth. You cannot staff something like, it's my consideration that you cannot staff something like that with noon duty aides because I don't think they receive the same type of training or resources for training. Finally, the third thing I wanted to share with, and this is more for our teachers and our principals and people at the district office, that just want to share with you that I did get a link from some friends in education that there are Ivy League colleges offering free courses at the master's and PhD level, and these will count towards course requirements, which could be used for staff development. Those are my only comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Aguilar. Ms. Aguilar. Mrs. Romo?
Thank you. I have 3 minutes, no?
Yes.
All right.
And counting.
Okay. Dr. Fragale, again, please do not forget Gloria Celaya's director position, and I need to ask about the access coordinator. Will that also be advertised, or will you be calling for the brief list This is a question. Excuse me, I have 3 minutes, okay?
No, I thought you wanted me to answer. I'm sorry.
Okay, and it's question only. And second, Mr. Fragale, please look into the possibility, okay, of the state to pay for personnel of the director of the Family Resource Center. I understand that this candidate is if that person has the correct licensing. Repeat, look into the possibility. At our last meeting, Yuri, one board policy and discipline was pending, no? Is possible for this policy for the next meeting, or
I think we can put it on the next meeting.
for the next meeting? This complete?
I think it's done, yeah.
Okay. And finally, Dr. Fragale, I am requesting a board presentation regarding policies and regulations on school lunches, and with Calexico High School having closed camps, I want to ensure that the students have choices in food in a closed camps, please. That's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Romo. Mr. Valenzuela?
Just one quick comment. I would like to see, we sent all these school sites representing the Calexico School District to that IT training conference. I would like to see some of the school sites come back and make a presentation on what they learned. Share with us what they acquired from that presentation also, because I remember going back in time, we sent some staff from dual school to Las Vegas, and we are yet to see a presentation from that training. So, we are sending people to trainings, but we're not seeing anything. We're not. They're not coming through. They're not coming back with a report or a presentation on what they learned and how are they going to implement their trainings and their learnings into our school district, into their own school sites. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Good.
Mr. Kim?
I believe the last time even I was mentioning again, so we can set some Saturday courses for the pay to the teachers. It's kind of a mandatory, but we pay them through the staff development funds and then train them. I think last time I've been suggesting Mr. Ficali on that. I believe you said you're going to follow up on those. The training the teachers. After we send this convention to train the teachers using the redevelopment funds for the teachers, so we can pay them same time, and then we train them at the Saturdays. Maybe Saturday or some after school.
You're asking that some of our staff who went be the trainers.
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah, like a presenter. Cannot say trainer, but at least like a presenter. We train them teachers, but teachers will getting paid from the staff development fund. So when we have some Saturday. So I think it's win-win to everybody's. But the other one is, I always keep saying, we are the one charge educating our kid. And our budget spending is not really spending for our kid. We spending 75% only, whole salary and benefit together. We say we're spending only 75% for the staffing and the benefit. We're decreasing. Same time, state spending state average like 90% they spending. We only spending 75%. There's a huge question there and gap. We are not concerning our students. As a parents, I will cut everything, but not to cut for my sons. That's what I've been doing. That's what we're supposed to do it. And we're doing equal. We cutting from the classroom first, then others. A school district has to focusing the how we're spending, so we can redirect the money to the classroom. That is our job. That is we are representing our community and our children. Hopefully, rest of the board will agree with me, so we can redirect our budget spending. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. All I have is I was looking through my calendar. Did we set a time for a retreat or a date?
We were talking about.
We were talking about it,
but I don't think we came to a final conclusion.
Yeah. Let's try and see if we can get a date together for a board retreat here in the district. First or second week of August?
August not?
Yeah,
nine,
it was
no?
before the school, right? Yeah.
It was the first week of August, if I'm not mistaken, because...
Use your microphone, please.
Sorry. I think it was the first week of August. I'm trying to look at my calendar right now, but I think it was there because I think we needed to do it
before
school started.
Before teachers and staff comes back.
Mrs. Duarte, I think we discussed that just with 4 board members and the superintendent. Mr. Kim was not there.
Yeah, I understand.
So I think we need to.
But still, that's one of my comments that I'm making is that we need to get on the ball on this. It's very important that we meet with management and some of the teachers.
Is there plan to meet on a Saturday?
This is for goals and objectives for the year. That's why it is important,
August 9.
Mr. Cooper, for your information. It's not a retreat. It's to set goals and objectives for the year.
I appreciate your eavesdropping, but what I was making the comment is I don't think scheduling a board meeting is a
It is. I understand. I understand what you're saying. And it is open to the public.
Right.
Yes.
I'm just wondering why it was apparently scheduled a closed session.
It was.
Anyways,
I'm running out of time. Excuse me, I'm running out of time.
It wasn't scheduled.
Mr. Valenzuela, please. It's my thing. That's all I have is the board retreat. It's something that we need to get on the ball.
I'll send them.
I'm gonna be BG whole August. I'm gonna be BG whole December.
Okay,
That's one of the for me is the happiest time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kim. Moving on to item.
Excuse me, I need my answer for my question. The access coordinator.
This was board members' call.
No.
Okay. I will
what's
give
my
you.
time?
I will.
What is the answer for my question? Access coordinator, will that also the advertised or calling for the RIF list? Please.
No, it's director. It was a misunderstanding. I emailed you on that.
No, this is not. Only for Gloria Celaya's director. Yes. Is for RIF list?
Well, we're advertising for that position. That would be.
You had 2 questions. No?
That's a different position. It's not from the RIF list. No.
Yeah. Yes, the first question is.
The first question was the coordinator.
It's for email, no?
But it's supposed to be director.
It's supposed to be director, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was
It's flown.
It's flown as coordinator.
It will be. I thought it had been corrected, but we talked about it. It will be corrected.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Item number G, recommended items. At this time, we can approve the items or go one by one. Okay. Okay. Item number 1 was tabled. Item number 2, approve accounts payable pre-list.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Aguilar, second by Mrs. Romo. Discussion?
Yes. I think this might be just one of the shortest for the pre-list, and I believe we have some kind of like a trend that we have a high bill in the summer. We have I think last month I saw about $10,000 for the water bill. This time $20,000 water bill. So I believe they have a high trend. But if the AC is kind of understandable, why they just doubled it in just for the 1 month?
What page are you on, Mr. Kim?
The water from the city.
Page 5.
Page 24 of the, no,
Page 5.
28.
page 5, yes. We paying $20,000. I know it's a lot less than last time, but what I'm concerning is why they jump from the 10,000 to 20,000. I know summer they might increase the watering, but doubling is like a kind of too quick. I mean too much.
I brought the bill with me. If you'd like me to pull the bill, I'd be happy
No,
to
no,
do so.
I'm not. I believe you
Okay.
applying the bill. I'm not saying you make the number. What I'm saying is, what is the reason? What is the reason from the 10,000 to the 20? They're supposed to have some kind of technical usage, or that's just my questions.
What I can only assume is due to the climate here that that's all I can assume. I don't personally read the meter, right?
City
So
bills us.
the city, right?
You
So
gotta pay it.
we have to rely on the meter readings of the city, and unfortunately, the bill is what it is.
Okay, the other one is 20. So I like to see that probably the city bill is corrected. That means like why the 1 month going double? So that means they have a lot of usage.
That could be, Mr. Kim, if you'll notice the sheet that I gave you, you'll see
Yes,
a
I
lot
understand.
of that.
We saving the money. We're spending less than the last 2 years.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying for example, in 2010, in April it was 16,000, in May it was 30,000. Yeah, so I mean, a lot depends on the climate.
How they're
and-
reading the meters.
And reading the meters.
Yeah, but for example, 2010 we have a 30,000 to 32. Actually, they increase very little. But this time we are from the 10 to 20, the double. I understand we're spending less money with the water. Yes, I agree with it. But what I'm saying is, what is the reason from doubling the price, doubling the usage? There may be something we can working on it. That's what I'm
Mr.
trying
Kim,
to.
remember we also opened Jefferson, and we had to start using Jefferson School. The construction was there. They had to turn on the water, and they had to water the grass, although the field isn't green.
Yeah.
But they did the quad area and stuff, and they had to flood it because the school was closed for a whole year. So that could be a possibility.
Okay, so I just want to questioning maybe if you have some to keep an eye on it to why the increase that dramatically the doubling. That's all I want. My concern is. Okay, the other one is number 24, page 24. The second line is the Bank of New York. We pay $1,000 for the gold bond.
For the GEO bond?
GEO bond,
Mhm.
yes.
And that is for the administration and escrow fees. That's an annual payment, or it's a typical payment of the bond, and it's something that we have to pay.
We have to pay for that.
Yes, it's for the.
I believe GEO bond money is we almost spend it, no? GEO bond, so I think that money there.
Oh yeah.
That money's already gone.
Yeah, that's all gone.
So we're not paying back. They are picking from the taxes.
Yeah, we will be. Yeah, we in the form of those annual payments that we make.
This is $1,000.
No, that's just for the administrative, the escrow fee. That's just the escrow fee. That's not the payment of the. I think this payment is $397,000.
Yeah, it's about $300,000 for Zion Bank.
And
Zion
then
Bank?
$800,000 for about Zion. Yeah, so.
This is GEO bond is Zion Bank.
Yeah, there will be a payment for Zion Bank. I think it's like $800,000, but I think we pay that in increments. We pay a portion of it in in August, and then the other portion, I believe, in February.
But the Zion Bank is not a GO bond.
Oh, that's
a COP.
That's our COPS, yes. But
this
this particular one for the Bank of New York,
It's
this
the
is about
GO bond.
300 and.
So this is the GO bond, it's different
This
bond.
is, yes,
Okay.
I'm thinking long-term debt.
Okay. At the last, I'd like to have the project code information. I think I saw all the detail from the Mr. Fogel's table, all the code number and what the project is, and that way we can read the code when we see the
The chart of accounts is what you're
Yes,
asking? Sure, absolutely.
And the other one is I was requesting about the lawyers, the detail, the invoice I didn't get yet.
And Mr. Kim, respectfully, we do have that information, and I'd be happy it's in the superintendent's office, and I'm sure they'd
No,
be
I
happy
need
to
to
provide
print
you
out
with
the
that
black and
information.
white. I need to print out, and for me and for the publics. They can be eliminating some was closed session items. They should be able to print out.
We can produce redacted bills, which would redact all the detail. But the detail contains attorney-client privileged information about discipline matters, employment matters that are being worked on, and it would be inappropriate to release those to the public.
No, I'm not. I don't want the name, or I don't want to how the lawyers worked it on it. I just want to what case number, and how many hours been working, and how much been charging. That's I need it. They cannot be closed session. That's public information.
Public information would only be your payment, correct?
The money, how much we spend for what?
We do receive the bill with how many hours, and then there's behind that is what Mr. Calderon is talking about, how each of the hours are designated.
No, I'm not. I don't need the description for the why, how spend it, how they deal with it. I want to case A, probably case A, how many hours so we've been charging, how many lawyers involved, or staffing. So they have a different charging of the details. When they send the bill, they're not going to send the lawyer. They don't send the bill just like how much this month. They supposed to send how much for how many hours, how many lawyers, how much, how many staffing involved, how much. They're supposed to be coming that way. I just want to case by case to how much. For example, to a board meeting, how many hours for this month that we've been paying, and we not haven't yet. I understand exactly I understand lawyers and clients' privileges. I'm not asking details of how they do it, the who was. I just need the case number and how many hours have been. All the information is not. That's information not in the closed session ones. That's not the confidential ones. So you should be able to release to the public.
I have to defer that to our attorney. Whatever he says is attorney-client privilege.
Mr. Calderon, is the case number a confidential matter?
No, in fact,
Okay.
we've
So
stated that
Can it be that a case number and billable hours?
Well,
Yeah.
what we have is a summary page. There's a summary page that provides a breakdown of the
hours.
general areas that we're providing legal services in. As you know, there's not everything has a case number. If we work on a discipline matter for the district, there is no case number.
But you could call it ABC, case ABC, case whatever.
They're not generally broken out that way. I mean, if the district would like us to
Is that
restructure
name?
our billing, we'd be happy to do it. But generally now, the way it works is there's a category for employment matters. And under that category is, for instance, the work that is done related to employment matters. Then there's a category for labor negotiations with ACT, labor negotiations with CSCA. And so there are large category breakouts.
Let me pose it in a different way. When you file within your own system And you're going to come prepare the invoice for how many hours you're going to bill the district. You do keep track of
Yes.
what was specifically, your associate worked on this X amount of hours, correct?
They're kept in, like I said, general categories. So, for instance, for the district, in the category of, say, labor and employment or employment.
No, I'm not talking for you in the invoice for you. I'm talking for you in.
When Aaron comes and, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, what I'm saying, one thing is what you bill us. I understand that you coded, X amount in this area, X amount in this area. But I'm talking now, forget about that. Now I'm posing the question to you. When you are billing us, you internally keep track. Okay, I've got,
Aaron.
Aaron spent X amount of hours
For the
representing the firm. Joe Blow, another associate.
Yes.
Okay, so then I think that's the information that Mr. Kim is asking. Not asking for that's why I asked if the case number is part of the confidentiality.
The case number is not, and
Okay.
most of that information, like I said, the district does get a summary page. The bill consists of a cover letter, a summary page, which breaks down the legal work into categories of information, and that summary page also includes the number of hours billed per attorney for under that category.
Have we provided that page for Mr. Kim?
Mr. Kim has been offered the opportunity to come into the office and review even the detail, and that any board member has, because the board is the client.
I understand that part of the detail, but I'm just would like for it to get settled once and for all. If we could provide him with a summary that has no
He can receive the
detail,
summary pages, yes.
and so that this can be laid to rest.
He can receive the summary pages.
Thank you.
Okay. The element, for example, employment matters. They might have 2-3 different employment engaging. They're supposed to have detailed the case number, employment matters, case number A, the how many hours involving, and then how much is staff involving, whatever running the administration cost. That's supposed to come out. And the employment B, it's how much this and how much and that. All the details are supposed to be there in the invoice. Without knowing, we're not going to know how much you've been charging. Maybe lawyers come here for 4 hours, they might charge you 6 hours. We never know. They just go consuming, and then how many? All totally. Oh, this month how many hours? Maybe sometimes they come late, they come less hours, they come more hours. We need more details. Without detail, we're not going to know we've been billed right or not, and we've been spending right or not. That's basic of the accounting. I don't know why lawyer wants to hide those numbers. Just the general summaries. Oh, this month we have been how many lawyers working? How much?
I think this is the part where we're talking about pre-list. This is not a part where we're talking.
Yes, part of the pre-list, because I was requested last time I didn't come in.
Mr. Kim, but GCR is not even on the pre-list.
Can I have a second,
Oh
please?
yes, the GCI is
Can I get
there.
a second, Mr. Kim? You are able to come in and see all that information that you're asking for, Mr. Kim. I have come and I have seen the actual invoice. The bottom line is, it's got personal issues, and you can't take that home with you.
Mr. Valenzuela?
I'm just saying, no, you're asking for details. They're here. You just can't take them with you.
Why you want to help the lawyer to
I'm not helping the lawyer. No, you know what? I'm like Mrs. Aguilar. I
We
want
have
to put this to rest.
We have a first and a second on the motion.
I've been keep
you've
asking.
exceeded your 3 minutes,
It's not
Mr.
giving.
Kim. We have a first and a second on the motion. All in favor of the motion?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
No.
Thank you. Motion passes 4-1. Item number 3, agreement for medical administrative activities, participation for from July 1st, 2012 to June 30th, 2012. Item G3.
G3, one moment.
So moved.
Second.
Have a first and a second. Discussion? No discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Ms. Aguilar making the motion, Mr. Valenzuela seconding.
4-1.
Item
I don't
G4,
know who is the motion. No. Oh yes, Norma and I.
No.
Excuse me.
But,
excuse
I
me,
had a
the
question
second.
for number 2.
Norma and I.
Who made the motion and who
for
seconded?
number 2, Ms. Aguilar and Mrs. Romo.
Thank you.
Item number 4, G4, agreement with Amanda Cuellar and Patricia Romero, RN, for the purpose of conducting state-mandated health screenings for 2012-2013 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Have a first and a second discussion.
Okay.
Hearing none.
G4.
I have discussions.
Discussion.
You guys got to move quicker.
The,
Mr. Kim?
again, we have nurses cannot have it our own. Why we keep contracting the nursing position to the?
We don't have an RN.
We
in the
we don't
school
have,
district.
that's right, we don't have an RN here.
Why not hiring?
Order. Who?
It's cheaper to do it this way.
We eliminated that position several
And we
several years
only
ago.
do it for a short time. It's not ongoing.
So this was cheaper.
This is cheaper, and this was
Yeah, but
eliminated.
during the school hours, we have a last bit hours. We not in the nurse
We have health clerks at the school sites.
health clerk, but not nurse.
No nurse. It was done away probably 7-8 years ago.
2006.
Yeah,
2005.
it was done away because the position paid about
Was
$70,000,
it?
and it was cheaper to do a contract. It was. It was cheaper to. It was a classified position. So
It's eliminated, no? Or the last meeting.
so that it's cheaper to contract the services because they're not everyday services. It's for the vision screening and.
But
vision
health
screening.
clerk is not the same as a nurse.
This
Do
is
you
RN.
have a obligate to have a nurse in the? Don't we have a obligate nurse in the school?
For the district, Mr. Kim. It's an RN for the district.
I understand, but I'm talking about the school. If we have the nurse at the school district, school, we can use them for these kind of things. And then why we not hiring the nurse, just contracting out? And also, nurse is, I believe, that have to be mandatory. Do we need to have a nurse? Health clerk is different than nurse.
It's different.
Well, usually when there's an accident in a school site, the health clerk, especially if the child falls, they can't move the child. They have to call the ambulance service or the parent and the ambulance service. And because if we move the child and more injuries occur, whether it's our RN or a health clerk, we're still liable for the injuries of the child.
Yes, I understand, but don't we obligate to have a nurse in the school? That's my question.
I don't think so.
No,
No.
we have nurses, aides kind of thing, but no. The problem with having nurses, Mr. Kim, it would be great to have them, but they're very limited in what they can do because of the laws that, we can't give an aspirin to a student without having a parent come or having a doctor's excuse or doctor's note. It's very frustrating.
If they have, I think when they have students coming in, they have some agreements that they signing, so they are allowed to give the medication or not. Isn't it?
That is prescribed medication, Mr.
Yes.
Kim? And the parent has to come in and sign the paper that.
But not the aspirin, anything
No.
first aid.
Unless it's a asthma, the albuterol or something like that. But an aspirin, unless the parent brings it in and say, my child needs to take it at 12 o'clock, it can be distributed to the child. But he can't come in with a bottle of aspirins, or we can't have aspirins in the school.
Well, but I'm not going to be comfortable when my son in the school, we don't have a nurse.
Well, the health clerks are trained to how to deal with situations, but they're not supposed to give any first aid like Band-Aids and all that. Yes, they're trained for that, but anything that is serious, the school site has to call the ambulance, and
Yeah, but
paramedics will come and check them out.
Again, all this money we're spending with the contractors, I believe the cheaper we have a nurse in the school.
Call for the question.
Okay.
Okay. Second? Okay.
Second.
So I have a motion made by Ms. Aguilar, a second by Mr. Valenzuela. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Item G5, Memorandum of Understanding with Imperial County of Education for the project's Borderlands AmeriCorps program for the 2012-2013 school year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Valenzuela, second by Ms. Aguilar. All in favor, discussion?
What about the fiscal impact
It's categorically funded, Mr. Kim.
from our category fund?
Our categorical funding.
Thank you.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Spectrum Advertising Agreement for 2012-13 School Board Meetings. Item G6. Do I hear a motion?
I'd like to, okay, so,
Don't everybody talk at once?
I
Well, I'd like
want
to-
to discuss it.
yeah, I want to discuss
Okay,
first.
can we make a motion for discussion?
Yeah, motion to discuss.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for discussion. Mr. Kim?
Yeah, I really like to see the meeting broadcasting, but time of this the money issues. So, do we have when I see the money, it's going to be how much it's going to be cost us a year, and is there any chance we can save the money from doing ourselves? So instead of hiring the company, or maybe if we necessary to hire a company, then we might can have a better contract.
And I agree with you, Mr. Kim. It is very nice, like Mr. De La Rosa said, but first payment was $700, then second payment was $500, and it is what, 200, 400 for the first 2 hours?
Correct.
400 for the first 2 hours, and we know we don't have 2-hour meetings. We don't.
Well, then maybe
And we
that
go
would
over.
encourage, or
Never.
that might be something in that we should all keep in mind, that we have a fiduciary duty to expedite our meetings.
Yeah. But then we don't want to be caught with, don't cut your meetings because just for the money. And the other idea about our district doing it, we had talked about our high school program, our students doing it, but then we worry about the editing part. Somebody might say about any edit parts or whatever. So having a company and from the outside is the only logical thing, except that the money is pretty steep. But I presume that these are the same numbers for other companies or other agencies that have.
Yeah, the
Spectrum?
city of Calexico use them, and it's the same billing.
The same hours, transfer hours.
That was my concern. Also, the cost of it. We all know that we never have a 2-hour meeting. So
What?
our first 2 hours is $400. From there on,
Excellent.
it's a 4-hour meeting is $600.
Well,
No, no.
it's
5 hours.
Exceeding 2 hours will be billed 1
Exactly, and from there on it's $100 per hour until the
Uh-huh.
4th hour, and then after the 4th hour is $200 an hour. So a 6-hour meeting in one evening is going to cost us $6,000.
If we could get these meetings to 2 hours, that'd be great. But
the meeting is 6 to 10.
that's 4 hours.
4 hours.
Okay, first of all, what money we going to spend for the general fund or
General
categorical?
fund.
That's general fund
That's
money.
general fund
General
monies.
fund, not the can we spend this categorical fund? I believe
These are board
like the
meetings.
translating.
Translating different.
The difference.
Translating different. But general fund for this.
Yes, it's the million.
Um, And I will say that
Professional.
Eddie came to see me today about our doing it. And if I remember correctly, you said it would cost about, for the equipment, about $8,000.
For a year?
No.
No, for the equipment.
Equipment.
And then we would it would be paying our staff for doing it. As we pay for our staff doing what they're doing now, we would have one more.
Well, the other thing is that we don't include closed session. Once we go into closed session, it's done.
I think I agree, and in fact, I made reference to that when I talked with their salesman that there's no need to stay once we go to closed session.
I need a motion. Mrs. Romo, you have anything to say?
Is there any
Six
chance?
hundred.
Is there any chance we can have some more lower the cost?
No, that's their standard contract.
One of the other things that we can probably do is send it out to bid. See if there's other agencies. I know Spectrum is probably one of the only advertising agencies here, but I don't know, maybe somebody from San Diego.
Can
or
we motion
Indio
to
can-
table and bring back all of those options? Perhaps, bring back the Spectrum agreement, bring back a write-up of what Eddie just said.
Yeah. So
what it would
yeah,
it
I'd
would
like to
cost
make
it
the
out?
motion to table.
May I finish? The startup cost, and then what your estimated cost would be for staffing it, and doing
bid.
A bid.
I'd like to make some motion to table.
Okay. I have a motion to table by Mr. Kim.
I'll second.
Ms. Aguilar seconds. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Hi.
May I ask a question, Madam President? Are we to continue until the decision is made, or will this be the last meeting?
Continue.
I think we should.
I think
I
so.
think we should stop until
You
we
think so?
we
What?
make a decision.
Stop?
Yes.
Yeah, but since we're starting,
Camino. Or what to stop?
I don't think so. I think we should continue, but
Yeah.
until.
Okay,
Continue.
I wanted to make sure because
Okay, well,
what I can do is ask
Yes.
them
We'll
to
give
do
you
a
direction.
meeting
Only
by
is for
meeting
the-
contract.
Review
Okay.
for the causes.
So, I didn't make my answer. Aye. So motion passes to table the item 5-0.
And continue.
And direction has been given to superintendent.
To continue.
Yes, to continue.
So Kim, to continue on the items Ms. Aguilar had mentioned. Moving on to item 7, approve the fiscal year 2011-2012 program self-evaluation for the state preschool program at Kennedy Gardens Elementary School. Mr. Okay. Motion to approve by Mr. Valenzuela.
second
Motion second by Mr. Kim.
discussion.
Discussion.
Okay, I'm glad we're gonna be making proactive to make the plan, but I'm the child first commission for the county, and they have a grant starting next year. At the February, they're gonna be on another grant starting like we missed the last one. Remember the 2010, we 2011 they had a grant opportunity for the preschool, and we will attend it. We send the letter to we'll send the letter to interested, but we didn't completing the grant process 2011. So we did not approve that. We send the.
I'm not sure I understood that, Mr. Kim.
Okay, the Child First Commission grant is next year scheduled to another grant approving.
For the county?
Yes, county. So that is, we were planned it 2011. We applied about February. We applied to do. We are interested, but we not completed the application. So we lost a chance to get approved. So I like to have to prepare our school district for the, I believe the January or December they might gonna send a notice to another grant opportunities.
We'll make sure we're.
So preschool gonna be entitled to be there.
Okay.
I also have a discussion on GSOD.
Yes, Ms. Aguilar.
I did come in last week and I did review this part. My question was, what is the follow-up? And I was told that that the follow-up would be noted or we'd get it. I haven't heard back, or there isn't anything here where it says what the follow-up is in the report.
Dr. Spencer, will you respond to that, please? Because I did talk with her about that.
Moved. It has to be moved. The answers have to be moved.
What do you mean it had to be moved?
They're on the wrong column.
Since they did the actual review in May, there wasn't enough time for a follow-up, really, in that school year. So what they'll do is, as the school year begins, they're going to work on these 3 items with the problems that were identified with the children. But within this school year, they didn't have time for a follow-up.
So we will get a follow-up in September? Or?
These will be the items that they focus on with their curriculum next year.
So we
will get a follow-up, yes, ma'am.
So that's why I'm asking, we will get a follow-up report on this? Okay.
But this year?
For this?
We're not going to have the preschool this year?
It would be in the fall. The board hasn't made an action toward that, but it's my understanding that I'm going to defer to.
Yeah, but what she's referring to is we have not. Well, no, but the board has not taken final action on whether we're going to have the preschool or not.
We funded it.
Well, that's one of those other things that is hanging in the balance because of, and we have the funding for it.
Yes, sir, we do.
We do have the funding. We showed that to the county.
We actually approved $50,000 more for it.
That's correct. And that's all been budgeted and sent to the county.
And so
but until she approved the budget.
Yes.
Yeah. And I believe the question still stands. If we don't do preschool, ICOE is going to do it. But the hiring of our staff that's in question.
That's correct.
That's the dilemma right now.
Yeah.
So if we don't get our budget, then they will take care of preschool, but there's no guarantee that our staff is the ones that are going to be hired. Or they may be thrown into the pool of interviews.
The responsibility is for ICOE, yes.
But this one, then why we are approving this one? If we don't have anything, the preschool is going to be setting.
Because each year we're required to go through and do 3 different inspections or self-evaluations, and then we have to report the findings to the state, and we've done that. And if you'll notice, I'd like to apologize because in the report it says that the one that we filed with the state, it says that the board approved it on June 28th? On June 28th, because it was booked to be on the board agenda that night. Because of the length of the number of items that you had, it was pulled. So that's why the report to the state says that it was approved on the 28th of June, just to explain that. The purpose of having this before the board is just so the board knows what is happening at the preschool and what some of the focus for the children will be.
Yeah, but we need to have a preschool, and we funded already. And then what happens? We don't take any action actually. So we're not gonna have a chance to open the preschool.
I defer that to the superintendent.
Again, Mr. Kim, we're set to go.
Yes.
You've already approved us up to 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
We're all set. We want to hire the staff.
Yes.
But we can't do that until the budget is approved, because that's exactly what Mrs. Mallory is expecting. That's the idea of what Mrs. Randall said earlier. In the past, we've always brought everybody back. And they're looking for anything which would cause them to allow them to not approve our budget. So we've been hanging all of this time. As soon as our budget is approved, then we can start making the moves we want to make.
So I believe the county has 45 days to approve it.
They have until August 15th.
August 15th. So
Correct.
that means we not be able to open the preschool in time then. So we have to wait until they approve it.
Well, we could open on the 20th. It's possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
Regardless whether the county or the district does open the preschool, this will still have to be done,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The follow-up still has
It
to
will
be
still
done.
have to be done.
Correct.
Call for the question.
Okay. I have a motion made by Mr. Valenzuela, seconded by Mr. Kim. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. A team of 26 administrators and teachers to attend the Common Core Standards Smarter Balance Assessment Consortia training on August 5th through the 9th, 2012 at UCLA. Do I hear a motion?
Motion?
Motion to approve it.
Second?
Okay. I have a
Okay.
motion, second discussion.
Yeah, I've got a question. Is this specifically only Common Core Standards conference?
No, this is the CTA Summer Institute, and they're offering a section on Common Core and the Smarter Balanced Assessment. It'll be worked together because they do go hand in hand.
So we have 12 teachers attending the Common Core Standards?
Yes, and 14 administrators. If you remember several meetings ago, it should be a good conference. Mr. Cervantes mentioned that they had teachers going to the conference already.
I remember.
And so we thought that we would
Pick up some time.
pick up and get everybody on the same page if we could.
Yeah.
So
Good opportunity.
is not a board member allowed to go? No?
We didn't register anyone.
Mr. Cooper, do you know one way or another?
I don't work for CTA. I work for Calexico.
Well, I thought, Mr. Kim, we can ask that question, but I know that when we were applying to get in, that they were close to being full. In fact,
Okay.
I would
If the possible, I might like to go.
we'll call Monday morning.
Yeah.
And see if there's a space.
But actually, I'm going to be very busy in August. I have to sacrifice something to go.
Okay, we'll see if we can get you registered.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did ask for materials to be brought back. I don't necessarily need to attend. I do have a question, Mr. Cooper. Okay.
CTA says they do not want to train 400 of us at once, but CTA will give voluntary staff resources to a district that wants to work on implementing this well. But what they do need is, and I'm working with administration well on this, is they want reasonable expectations. They don't want to train 400 people in the gym at once. But maybe at our staff development later in the year, CTA will send experts on this.
I do have a question. You come to the microphone.
Sergio, Elisa, y señor Mendoza. So there's no teacher from the high school?
Mr. Cooper, I do remember that Mr. Cervantes did bring up that there was going to be CTA sending. Sending people to this conference?
No.
Right?
ACT.
I'm sorry, ACT is going to be sending people to this conference?
ACT put out an invitation to whatever teacher wanted to join, and there's a bunch of different sections. But the one on instructional professional development, I believe 2 teachers ACT's paying for. Okay. And then the district had principals recruit other people. But I mean, any teacher that wanted ACT to pay for, we paid for them, but that deadline's passed.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In all fairness to Maine's, Rockwoods, and Blanche Charles, I would like to know if we can add 2 teachers from those school sites, because I know Rockwood attended the technical school, and only Dr. Lanusa showed up, and there was no staff from Rockwood. Or can we add any?
Yeah. I don't know if we can get anyone else in at this point. When we made our reservations, they had 70 slots, and we took 26 of them. So at this point, I don't know if there are slots left.
Okay,
I like to try, and we didn't have anyone volunteer from those schools.
Okay, I like to
volunteer.
Okay, I like to make amend the motion to increase the number. If they don't have a volunteer, we still have less numbers can go.
Well, they're going to have to check.
We haven't limited, Mr. Kim. We asked for volunteers, and that's all that came. But we'll be glad to oblige.
That's what I'm saying. We approving tonight 26 number. So if we approve the 26 number, then we're gonna be got stuck there. So I like to amend my motion to increase the number if possible.
Well, let's just go ahead and put two more from, if possible, if they can still enroll, 2 more from Rockwood, 2 from Maine's, and 2 from Blanche Charles, if we can get some. I can't believe that nobody applied.
Okay.
So we never send them anywhere. Now that we are, they're not applying, but it doesn't sound right.
So then you would amend it.
Yeah, but still, you know.
Calexico High School.
I also have a question.
Some people want.
Why isn't there a teacher from the high school going to this? That you have 3 administrators from the high school and no teacher.
And no teacher.
That was.
It was all on a voluntary basis, and each principal
from the high school volunteered.
Wow.
Well, each principal was invited to ask staff from his or her school.
Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't enough to advertisement.
And I understand that principals want to go, but I think our teachers should be the first ones in line. And if we're going to have 14 administrators and 12 teachers, I mean, teachers are the ones in the classroom. They're the ones that are going to teach this, you know.
I agree, but I think that in this case, the principals also need to know, because they need to be able to advocate and move forward with it. And we wanted everybody to go. We had sufficient funds to allow as many wanted to go who wanted to go.
So if we have enough to go, I don't know why we are having such a protracted discussion. Just increase the number to 6, by 6 or by 10, whichever you want, and let's move forward.
We can. It's in
August.
It's
I know. It's August
Okay.
5.
I'll amend the motion to.
No, Mrs. Promo. They need to know in advance.
Okay, I'll like to amend the motion to increase the 10 more number up to 36, if possible.
If possible.
So from the 2 Blanche Charles, 2 from Maine, 2 from Rockwood, and 4 from Calexico High School.
I second. I'll second.
Okay. Motion is to
2 Blanche Charles, 2 Maine, 2 Rockwood, 4 from high school.
Okay.
And we will see if we can get spaces for these people.
Okay.
Yes.
If and that's contingent if there's space. But
Another thing that will probably come up on that, though, is right now the price that we have these people going for, we're staying in the dorms. And the dorm rooms may not be available, so the cost for these additional 10 people may be the hotel rooms and
But we're going to
extra
stand by the
lodging.
categorical funds, staff developments.
yes, it's out of categorical funds, but that doesn't mean that it's unlimited.
Oh, yeah, I understand the limit, but training the teachers, we
It
should.
is very important.
Yes.
Yeah, 10 more.
Okay.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Kim, seconded by Ms. Aguilar. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Easy.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Item number 9, Dr. Sherry Spencer to attend ACSA Categorical Programs Academy in Ontario, California from August 3rd through 4th, 2012, September 7th through the 8th, 2012, and October 5th and 6th, 2012.
I'd like to have a little discussion on that.
I need a motion.
Approve.
Second.
I have motion to approve by Mr. Valenzuela, second by Mrs. Romo.
Okay.
Discussion?
Discussion is, I'd like to send our school district send the one staff, not only administrators, one more staff to learning from there, so that will be increase their working performance from the staff. So I like to adding one step to send it there.
Well, this is for the
Yes, I understand this.
categorical program that she works.
Yes,
Mr.
but
Kim.
there's a staff for the working for the categorical fund too. Not only Mrs. Spencer is there.
Oh, you mean the assistant?
Assistants.
I'm not sure. I would have to check, but I think you have to be an AXA member to be. Do you need to be an AXA member?
No.
You do not. You'd have to be.
So I like to adding one more person from the assistant.
One assistant?
Yes, for that they can learn from there.
But you need to be an administrator.
Mr. Kim
What I'm understanding, board member can go for the actual presentation, and the assistant too.
Check it out.
Even the one board member.
Patricia?
One board member is the fee waiver. I checked with the access last time when I went to the convention.
Patricia Teyache is assistant?
No, she's not the.
Coordinator for.
She's not an administrator.
Okay.
The Cesar?
She is? Uh-huh.
I don't see how this can apply to anybody else, Mr. Kim. This is just for the Department of Categorical Federal Categorical Professional Standards for Educational Leaders, and it's for federal funding and stuff. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
see
what I'm
how
saying,
it would apply to anybody else, and for the cost. I don't see there's a need. It's a
Yes, it
training for
is.
what she does.
Yeah, but training to the staff, they can help they can have their better jobs. It's very simple.
I understand, but this is something specific.
I believe the assistant the staff, as long as that's workers, they should be able to be there.
They have to be administrators, Mr.
I'll
Kim.
call for the question.
Okay.
Okay. So I have motion to approve by Mr. Valenzuela and seconded by Mrs. Romo. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay. Aye. Motion passes 4-1. Submittal of selected courses to the California Department of Education for 2012-13 school year to be offered in the adult education program.
Discussion.
Motion?
Motion to discuss.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion to discuss, second by Ms. Romo. Mrs. Romo?
Okay, thank you. Madam President, I would like to remind you that there is a letter signed by the ABE teachers in which it states that that having any one of them obtains a K to 12 credential, they would be placed in a K-12 classroom. I remember for the teacher for Mrs. Kenya Gomez has completed her elementary credential and must move to a regular K-6 classroom. It's only
Okay.
remainder.
This is only to approve the courses for
This-
12,
yeah, I know.
13, just
It's
in
only
case
for
we
courses.
do bring some courses back.
Yes,
This is only for course
I
approval.
understand, but
That's a separate subject.
yes.
So right now, so what course we used to have it? Which courses? So that's the
Courses?
school, yes.
I guess
How many
these
courses?
courses on the side is what
This is
is
3
what
courses
recommended
uh-huh.
Last year, what course we had?
right here.
The 1 to 3, ESL, GED, and academics.
Academic, GD, and is ESL.
So how many courses we had last time? 4 courses, isn't it?
We want to, the reason we're doing this is that it allows students, if we have a student who needs one of these courses, it's approved then by the state.
Mhm.
And if there, for example, we have a student that needs algebra to get a diploma,
Mhm.
by submitting this to the state for state approval.
Your mic.
that-
Please use your mic.
Once the state approves these courses, then they become eligible for graduation purposes. It doesn't mean we have to teach them all, but we want to make sure that they're approved in case some of our students or even one of our students needs that work.
So how many courses are we gonna planning to have it? Or right now, so we don't have any plan, only just accepting the courses first?
We're just accepting the courses at this point.
Okay. I made the motion to approve it.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Kim, seconded by Mr. Valenzuela. All in favor of the motion?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Notice to proceed for Mains Elementary School earthquake repairs from Doblado Construction.
You were talking about this on asbestos? The main school?
DeBlato,
Yeah,
Mr. DeBlato has asked that that the board provide a procedure a letter to proceed. The bid was awarded a long time ago, and because of the length of time, he felt that he wanted the board to, I guess, reaffirm that bid and allow him to move forward.
I have a concern. Since the bid was done in 2010, and the bid includes high school, Dianza, Aurora, and Mains, given the fact that we have the things that came up from main school with lead and asbestos, not to alarm anybody, but the dollar amount for Mains is $236,572. That number is going to change, correct?
That's correct, and we have applied with CalEMA and FEMA to cover the additional costs.
And what is the additional cost?
We'll know that on the 25th.
Okay.
That's the bid that,
Given said that, I would like to table this item, although there is an urgency for Mains, but due to some of the issues that I've read, I think we must take caution on the increased amount of the work. And although the bid is 2 years old, or the project bid is 2 years old, I think we just need to take caution, because that 236,000 can come up to 300, 400,000, and
the only bid that we're opening for the 25th is for the asbestos and the paint, lead paint. That's the only thing. We're not rebidding the project. just for those two areas.
Well,
But-
those two areas are included in this bid. Sections that are going to be worked on are included in this bid.
Except they were,
So if there was, let's say they were going to remodel a wall, and there's a price for that wall already, now with the lead, there's going to incur additional costs.
Correct.
For the same job. So
Well-
basically, I'm charging you more.
no, you're charging,
for the same-
charge would be for the additional labor and expense of the asbestos.
But if I was going to take down the wall already,
But you can't take the wall down until that other area is taken care of.
but it's the same area that I was going to take down before.
That's true, except there was
But I'm now
there was
gonna
no
co-
knowledge of those two items.
But now I'm charging you more because of that. Regardless, the labor is still going to be the same. If I had a bid to take down that wall, now I find out that the wall has lead, and I have.
But
It's the extra caution that they're billing us.
No, this contractor's not billing it unless he wins the bid. But it takes
It's different.
special equipment to handle the asbestos and the lead paint. Not necessarily
It's
the
different.
Plato. All he's doing is saying the work that I bid before, that I'd like to have you reaffirm that I can do it. That's
Madam
totally
President,
separate.
when you encounter these unforeseen conditions, or they're unforeseen conditions, it's asbestos and lead, there are very strict federal and state guidelines that have to be complied with in terms of the removal and disposal. And part of it is the disposal piece, which means that it has to go to a special waste site, and it has to be treated before it's disposed of in, for instance, a landfill. And so all those increase the cost. And so generally a contractor will say, this was not part of the specifications that we bid on, and we did not have that in our estimate for the project. And so if that amount exceeds 10%, then either the whole project must be rebid, or that component of the project has to be separately bid to be dealt with separately. But you're right, you're absolutely correct, there may be some overlap. If somebody else has to do the removal, then there may be a deductive change order that needs to be processed with respect to the original scope of work.
Okay, I'd like to make the motion to table it. So they're going to be needed more. We have to wait until the additional cost come out.
I wish I had numbers, the new numbers, or
Yeah.
the additional numbers.
Yes.
Because if it's over 10%, then we're responsible for making that decision.
I'll call for the question. I
That's
second
his
Mr. Kim's motion.
Okay, I have a motion tabled by motion to table the item by Mr. Kim, seconded by Ms. Aguilar. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-1. Item number 12, review and amend to the regular board meeting calendar, including the possible cancellation of July 26 regular board meeting.
There's no backup documents, just for the review and amend the regular board meeting calendar.
It was your suggestion, Mr. Kim, to put it on the agenda for today to move the July 26th meeting to July 31st,
Okay,
right? Yeah, that was your suggestion.
so not to cancel it, so we're gonna move
We're going to move,
the regular board meeting to July 31st.
correct.
Yeah.
Need a
I make the motion to approve it.
Second.
To move to the July 31st.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion made by Mr. Kim, seconded by Mr. Valenzuela. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Item 13 has been tabled. I lost my second piece.
It's mine.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Item number 14, contract for CPR and first aid training services for year 2012-2013 provided by Wes Knowlton, certified trainer.
Discussion. Motion for discussion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for discussion. Ms. Aguilar?
Yes, this is a company out of Yuma, correct?
No.
No.
What does it say?
It's one of our Calexico Fire Department.
Oh, okay. As an
there he is.
individual. Okay. I was
He
wondering.
works
so you-
for us in Calexico. I mean, for the
I thought
city.
it was a company out from.
No, no.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just the last name.
Okay.
All right, then that answers my question. I was wondering why we weren't keeping it local.
Okay, my discussion was, I already have some kind of a pretty knowledge on this, and I'm not happy we, as county or fire department, don't have any service to training CPR. What I'm understanding, some county, they might have some CPR training. Did we check with the county fire departments? If county level?
We haven't checked with the county.
Just
In the past, they haven't been very willing to help us, but plus the fact, I'd rather keep the money in Calexico than give it to Imperial County.
yeah, but if they're cheaper, that's a different story.
You know, I don't think it's any cheaper, but
We've always contracted from a company. It's never been from the county fire department or anything like that.
This one, the last time I was against it because we're trying to looking for our fire department from the local, or they charge us more cheaper.
He is from the fire department.
Yeah, but he's individual, not the fire departments.
Yes, please.
please identify yourself.
Yes. My name is Wes Knowlton. I am here tonight as an individual. However, I am employed with the City of Calexico with the fire department. As far as the City of Calexico's fire department, we do not offer CPR training for the general public or for any of the departments outside of our own. We do our own in-house training. We borrow the equipment from the Imperial Valley College in order to do so, and then we go ahead and return it. We have taught the police department in the past as well, and they've paid our wages in order to do that. I was contacted the other day. I happened to be at the station when they were trying to find out if our city department does offer CPR. Unfortunately, we do not. I myself, I've been an instructor for CPR for over 10 years now. I work for not only our department, but also the Imperial Valley College, teaching the EMTM paramedic course. Part of our faculty for the American Heart Association, and with the fact that the school board is in need of instruction for your teachers, crossing guards, everybody else that's included, I offered to help out the circumstance. So as far as CPR, how it works here in the state of California, nationwide, it's a service that's rendered. There are some departments out there that offer CPR. There are not any here in the Imperial Valley that I'm aware of. Usually the Imperial Valley College offers it through their EMT program, as well as El Centro Regional Hospital offers it. and Pioneers Memorial Hospital. There's also companies from San Diego that will come down, for the advanced level classes and so forth. But generally, most of the public goes to the hospitals, and their rates are same as mine. I'm mobile. I can take my equipment where I need to go and teach classes. I can teach up to 24 students at a time with everybody having adequate equipment, and they're all trained hands-on. We're planning for Monday morning to use the not the slide projector, but the video along with the projector screen, and have all of our mannequins out here laid out. All of the students will have barrier devices appropriate so they're not, excuse my term, swapping spit with each other, CPR term, and they will get hands-on practice. So if that answers any questions for you, if you have any others.
Yeah, I think it's enough questions.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm glad I heard about you. You have a good instructor.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
I'd like to make the move.
We have a speaker, another speaker, Mr. Kim. I'm sorry, she just turned in. Monica Rutia.
Good afternoon, Monica Rutia. Just a quick question on this item. Last, 2 months ago, I believe, we put in a same request for a training for the CPR for the ACES program. So I just want to know if this training is just offered for the ACES or for the whole district, because the last time was rejected. We requested for 42 of our ACES employees, and it was rejected, and it was with a cost of $1,200 total for the 42 employees.
And what happened? For CPR and first aid?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And it was rejected.
60%. Yeah. I remember.
Yes.
What month was that?
No pass.
For the ACES, program, we requested the CPR and the first aid training, and it was rejected, and it was for $1,200 only for 42 employees.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember, but I didn't remember the amount.
me too.
Yes, it was $1,200.
Yes. Where did you get that bid from?
For one of the firefighters in Calexico also. Because we bid it from 3 different persons. We bid it from, I think, the Central Regional Medical Center, and another that I don't recall the name of the company, and for this person at the firefighters here in Calexico. And it was another individual from Calexico firefighters.
And the ACES program for that.
For the ACES program, correct.
ACES program. Yeah.
Ms. Martinez, are the ACES, was that for the coordinators?
It was for the academic supervisors and some of the campus securities.
Will they be included in this or no?
My understanding was that because the ACES employees are not considered permanent employees, the intent of the district was to only offer this particular CPR course for permanent CSEA employees. The ACES CPR training that Mrs. Lucia is referring to was a requirement that Mrs. Zelaya was trying to fulfill when you have the recreational supervisors, and they provide cooking, dancing, karate. They also need first aid and CPR, so that she was trying to coordinate that with her ACES staff.
Correct.
To train, and they did bring it up to the board. I did not know the.
I believe it was rejected because we were not present at the time, at the meeting.
No, it's not that. It was. I'm the one who made the motion to not to approve it because we were trying to looking for the better, cheaper cost.
Okay.
We bid three different companies, and it was the cheapest one.
No, yeah, because that time was we were informed that if we do through the fire department, local fire department, the public service, it's going to be a lot cheaper. That's why we were rejected.
Okay, so maybe we can.
The intent that the district told me was that they wanted to train permanent employees. ACES and asset employees are considered temporary. So
Okay.
I don't know if that was the reason why it was rejected.
No, it wasn't.
No, Mr. Kim is saying why it was rejected.
Okay, so then this is for permanent employees.
Okay.
It's required as per their job description.
Okay, so it's,
But if we had to
are these funds, we're able to use these funds from ACES to train, to give the training?
No.
No.
We're not able, so we were going to pay from general fund for the ACES?
That's, looking back, that we would have had to. Because again, that 80.
I know that the
that
money's
85-15 situation. We already.
Ms. Randall, for recording purposes, can you come to the podium?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Monica.
Madam President, it's my understanding that because the ACES employees are classified as temporary employees, it would be an out-of-pocket expense to the temporary employee for their CPR training. The district would only fund the CPR training for the full-time permanently classified employees.
So
But that money came from the that was funded by ACES money.
So then we would have been out of compliance if we would have approved it.
That is correct. You cannot fund the CPR for the ACES program out of the ACES program.
Because
the ACES
this is not being used for the students.
That is
it's
correct.
Being used for.
So if the district were to fund the CPR for the temporary or the ACES employees, it would have to be a general fund expense.
Okay, then I have two issues. One of the issues we rejected last time for the cost we can maybe it's cheaper. So this one cost is a lot higher than what we had the proposed 40 to the employees. The other one was also a lot cheaper cost. And the other issue is probably ACES program we can go through the ACES fund so we can trend it, because anyways they're gonna deal with our kid in the temporary or not, they still gonna have to deal with our kid. So ACES compliance is we supposed to be trained the CPL too.
Is there a compliance component on that?
No.
ACES program?
I would like to see the compliance.
It is based on what Mrs. Martinez says that it is
not
for the recreational portion, like the cooking and for those types of things.
So if that we already have a cheaper the bid, from the $1,600 or $1,200 for the 42 piece.
But this number is standard, Mr. Kim. Is it $60?
It's $60 for the Force 47, and that's because we're purchasing 47 books. And then after that, Mr. Knowlton, am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
It's going to be after every training, it's going to collect the books. We're going to reuse the books, and we bought some extra copies so that we can put in a few copies in each one of the schools, so they can use them in their libraries.
So, but we have another one is if we have corrected the $1,200 for the 42 members, a lot cheaper.
Mr. Kim, I really don't remember anything about that, but this is the situation. We have permanent employees. We must have them trained before school starts, or otherwise they're not eligible to work.
Can you pull the information about the meeting?
Wow.
What?
The information of how much it was cost?
Well,
sure.
we'll just
roll it. Eddie, roll it.
It was a Willie Moreno meeting.
No. He wants the minutes of the last meeting.
Oh.
No, not the last
No,
one. The
that
meeting was that time. How much it was?
The meeting where it was discussed.
That was.
But I
Only June.
Did we?
No.
That's not that part of this conversation.
Why don't we table then?
That's a different conversation.
Table it to the motion to table to the 31st.
Table for more investigation, for more information.
I'll second.
But we can't start the training.
31st.
The training starts on Monday. That's correct. I'm sorry, I withdraw that.
Okay.
We can have another
we
another
start
week,
on
next
we
week.
start July 23rd to train these individuals. That's a paid day for them.
No.
They're coming on their own.
We're paying for the training, but not their wage.
We can
Okay.
set them 1 week after.
What can is the date set because that's the date you can do it, or is it because there's an urgency here?
There's a couple factors.
Can you come to the podium, please?
Certainly. My understanding is your employees, 22 of them we have confirmed at this time, need to be trained before the start of the school year. However, I am officially on leave from my department as of next Wednesday because my baby boy will be born.
Okay.
And it's a conflict of interest for me to be on leave from my permanent job and out doing side jobs. So therefore, that's part of the rush, as well as making sure your employees have the training that they need.
Okay. Since Ms. Aguilar withdrew her motion, I would like to motion to approve these and look into the issue of ACEs, and maybe in the near future we can discuss that and maybe get them certified.
Second.
A ver.
I have a second by.
Can we see that next?
Okay.
Come on.
Excuse me, I have a sec. I made the motion. I have a second by Mr. Valenzuela.
Yes, it's a discussion time.
All in favor? We've discussed it, Mr. Kim. Let's get these people going, and then
We already ready. We can see that.
we understand, but we still need to look from the funds, from the general fund, where we're going to pay these people from.
That's
and-
what I'm saying. It's a lot cheaper. We have information down there that you don't want to see it.
I understand, but there's a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye. Aye.
Mrs. Romo? Mrs. Romo? No. Mr. Kim?
No.
Aye. Motion passes 3-2.
I'd like to ask that we bring back if whatever backup information was included at that meeting, so that the full.
talking about that meeting?
Yes.
Ahí está. Where's the forum?
It does. That's not.
it doesn't
Where's
say-
where's
okay.
the quote?
What?
Where's the quote from the provider?
It wasn't 12.
For $1,575.
Uh-huh.
Where's the quote from the provider? That doesn't tell us what they're going to provide.
Yeah.
Yeah. 50 right there.
It doesn't
The
say
amount.
what,
Does-
it
what
doesn't,
are they
it's not
providing?
stipulated like right here, Mr. Kim, that says
And how much is the quote there, Norma? Mrs. Aguilar?
15
I-
something.
15.
1575.
1575, and
Who-
you said it was 1200, right?
Yeah, around, I was more or less.
Yes, but still.
Because I thought it was 42 people, but
Okay.
45.
Since they are not permanent employees, we'll get our staff going, get them ready, and we'll look, maybe.
We'll bring
Yeah,
it
but
back.
this is we're
Bring it
saving a
back
lot of
next
money
month.
there.
Yeah, but we can bring it back July 31st. The ACES ACES is not going to start till school starts
No, I'm
anyways.
not talking about the ACEs. I'm not talking about the same person you can use this training. That's what I'm saying. If the price is right.
The vote has been made.
Mr. Regosa, he is a coworker of mine. He's a very well qualified person. I actually have him scheduled to teach here with me Monday morning.
Oh, okay.
So,
He's going to be an instructor under my contract for you.
So we're
I wasn't
paying-
aware of this previous bid from him.
yeah.
There's your teacher.
Okay, let's move on. Item
Wow.
Start Monday.
Item G15, to authorize Jesus Flores, high school world history teacher, to attend the content and method for teaching advanced placement course in UC Riverside, California, starting on July 23rd to July 26th. We have a speaker, Mr. Chad Cooper.
There's a couple issues here. I'm concerned that they have him listed as a world history teacher at Calexico High School, when in a review of my board documents, I've never seen him be transferred So if that position was flown for transfer, I'd like to know about that. Number 2, no problem with Jesse going to this training. However, why are you sending a middle school teacher to a high school training? There's other middle school teachers that might like to be trained in how to teach advanced placement, because some middle school teachers do want to transfer to the high school. And in investigating this matter, I understand there was an urgency to find someone, but it was not an open invitation. It was given to one person only, and now an invitation's been put out today after I spoke with Mr. Fergali, and you're wondering why teachers don't respond to things. We're off the clock right now. I check my district email on my phone for various reasons, but a lot of teachers don't. So in the future, we need to have a more transparent process, because when this job gets posted, my guess is they'll say that they prefer somebody that has this training, but when you've only given that opportunity to one person, it's kind of prejudicial opportunity. So in the future, when we have this kind of need, there needs to be a system in place so that everyone's fair. The other thing is, I mean, it hurts them. It causes strife within the teaching ranks. Either it looks like Jesse's being treated well when he was trying to do a favor, or that the rest of us aren't good enough to maybe teach AP. So, and I don't think that was the intent of anyone involved, but we need to follow processes. We really do. Throughout the meeting, there's been different things that come up, and I haven't interjected. I see other audience members are allowed to interject. We got to somehow let the average teacher, teacher leadership, classified leadership talk to the school board with suggestions. I've got my own tablet device. When Bob Simon was here, he told me before he left, I'm going on a different topic now. He'd open the network so I could use my iPad with my students. I still am not allowed on the network. And I've bought that for the purpose of teaching. And there's little things like this that will make our lives easier. And in a $80 million budget, 400 teachers, maybe 320 now, I don't know. We got to somehow keep track of these ideas, because we hear good ideas and then we all go home and I think are glad the school board meeting's over and life goes on the next day. So I don't know how to approach that, but in the future we need to have these opportunities, because I've seen people have trainings that stop them from being riffed out of order. I won't mention names, but somebody had some coaching training and so got him or her non-riffed a couple years ago. So if you don't riff the AP teacher 2 years from now, it can go back to this training that wasn't open to everyone. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. Dr. Fragale, what was the process for Jesus Flores? Only one teacher?
Well, this all came up Monday afternoon, and it was proposed to me Monday afternoon. The workshop is starting Monday. One of the Willie Moreno social studies teachers had talked with the high school principal about wanting to go to the high school, and he was asked if he would go to the training. And I was concerned because of a situation that I emailed all of you earlier. And I thought this would be a good backup if necessary. And I agree, it was not done with any malicious intent or to pick a favorite. It was a last-minute thing. And I thought we needed the protection in case there's a problem similar to potentially what we had this year.
I've got a question. Where this training is being funded out of, what fund?
Categorical.
Okay. So I did go into the training that is provided, and if I'm not mistaken, there's additional training that will be offered. Can we not send out a notice to and contact teachers who are within this classification and ask them if they would wish to be considered for this training? Number one, it provides them, some some staff development. Number two, it gives us a wider pool of people to consider if and when that transfer opportunity comes up.
And I would certainly agree, and I think that we need it in all the disciplines, not this one.
I agree with you, Henry.
Yeah.
We'll take it that step further then.
We'll be glad to do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I guess I just want to add on to that. And for the future, I think we should follow the process. That way we don't give out our staff the perception that we're just handpicking that individual.
And there was no
I understand that, but
I need some type of motion for discussion at least. I only had the two speakers up there.
Motion to discuss.
Okay. Second. Mr.
Well,
Kim?
That is the one of the sample we're not doing our job right. I know there's some urgency, but again, some of the teachers have a special relationship with some of the administrators. They got favor. What about the other teachers? They are dedicating with the students. We're supposed to give a fair chance to everybody. We are forgetting we are owed to public to fair for everybody. We are not doing it. This is causing to some of they gathering line to line. Okay, who belongs to what line? They can have a better chance, so they're gonna line up. Instead of they trying to dedicate to our children, someone has to have a nice relation with the administrator to have a chance. There's something wrong here. That's why I call the compass system.
I assure you, Mr.
Kim. I have to interject with that comment, Mr. Kim, because this is not a malicious thing. The teacher still exists within the district. The teacher is on leave.
That. Yes.
I call for the question. This is unnecessary dialogue.
Yeah.
Specific
Thank you.
information about a teacher. When you talk about the AP history teacher being on leave, that's way too personal.
Exactly.
I agree.
So we're just going to move.
I didn't mention that part.
Call for the question has been made. I need a motion to approve or disapprove.
Motion
or
to
table.
approve.
Second.
I have motion to approve by Ms. Aguilar, second by Ms. Romo. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
No followed by because it's not right process.
Aye. Motion passes 4-1. Now we will go to closed session. Mr. Calderon?
The board is going to go into closed session. It is 8:30. There are 3 items on the closed session agenda. Public employee appointments, all the positions included on the certificated and classified employment reports. That's under Government Code Section 54957. Public employee discipline dismissal release under Government Code Section 54957. And finally, the public employee performance evaluation under Government Code Section 54957, and that's the evaluation of the superintendent.
Thank you. It is now 8:30, and we will go into closed session. Okay, it is 9:42, and we are reconvening from closed session. Mr. Calderon?
Yes, Madam President, no reportable action was taken in closed session.
Thank you. Moving on to item J, actions required, employment reports. Item number 1, approve certificated employment reports for July 19th, 2012.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Aguilar. Certificate.
Certificate.
Oh, certificate.
I think they're tagging the J2.
Yeah, the tag is.
Was wrong.
This is certificate. Yeah, that's the one we're doing. Yeah, the dots are wrong. Yeah, I have a motion.
J2 J2.
I make the motion to not to approve it.
Well, I have a motion
Oh,
to
you have a
approve.
motion?
I need
Okay.
a second. Okay, I have a motion to approve by Ms. Aguilar, seconded by Mrs. Romo.
Discussion.
Discussion?
We laid off more than 80 teachers, 82 teachers. At the same time, we have paying the money for the cellular phone stipend. We should stop this. We don't have money. Well, I've been arguing stipend several times already. That we don't have money. We just act like we have money. We should stop the cellular phone stipend to the staff. We don't have money. Same time we laid off the 82 teachers. Our children are going to be suffer. At the same time, administration side, we always very lenient to pay everything.
Okay.
I strongly recommend the board members to reconsider about the motion, because we don't have money. We have to save money one and the others.
May I say something?
Yes.
Mr. Kim, normally I would agree, but I will tell you that we do a lot of work outside this office with either through email or texting or phoning, and I'm in constant contact with the staff. I don't get a stipend. I didn't ask for one, but I really think that these people deserve to have the stipend.
Well, personally, they already have a cellular phone, so it doesn't necessarily we have to provide the money for that. They already have a personal cellular phone. Everybody nowadays, everybody has, even the elementary kid they have.
I know.
Why
but
we have to pay for that?
They use it for work.
I pay for two of them, Mr. Kim.
Okay. So they already have a cellular phone. Why we have to pay their stipend for their cellular phones? I still don't understand. If we have money, different stories. I'm glad to give the more like complimenting the staff. I'm okay with it. But now we don't have money. We have to save the money. We still act like we have money. When we go to the administration side, we always in lenience.
Okay.
We should stop paying on the cellular phone things like that.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Valenzuela.
I also agree with Mr. Kim. I don't agree with paying any cell phone stipends. If I would agree with any one of these names here, I would say Mr. Pesqueira for the high school, being that it's the biggest campus in the school district. But I'm not in agreement with this at all.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve by Ms. Aguilar, seconded by Mrs. Romo.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
We're losing Mr. Cañas?
We've lost him. That's a situation that Mr. Cooper was alluding to about our losing people. We've talked about that several times. Our hands are tied, and we are starting to lose. I've received a call from one of our English teachers at the high school, Mr. Hopkins, who was being offered by Holtville. So
both of them.
Okay,
Both of them.
I'm not going to belabor the point, but all the more reason that we need to put additional pressure or lobby or whatever we need to do to get ICUE to listen to us, because they're not doing us any favors by delaying the decision. If that's their intent, to delay it to August the 15th, we need to have qualified teachers in place when school starts. And if necessary, make it a public letter to the editor. I'll write it. I don't care, but we need to put some pressure.
I had suggested that to Mr. Fragale yesterday when we were discussing the agenda, to do just exactly that and to put pressure on Ann Mallory through the community that we need that budget approved because we're going to start losing good teachers.
We are losing already.
But
Yeah.
Mr. Cañas is not a lift teachers. He is a permanent teachers.
It doesn't matter, Mr. Kim.
But
It's a good teacher
we
that
have
we
all
have that
the
we're losing.
cutting. We give the teachers not security their job. That's why they're leaving.
But we have a teacher that's leaving.
Yes, I'm saying that the teachers leaving not because we don't approve the budget. Teachers leaving because we provide them on security job for them. We cut the benefit. We cut the cut the teachers constantly. We are the one who making environmental not to be favorable work in the Calexico Unified School District.
Mr. Kim, that is not a true statement. Every district has made its share of cuts.
Yes.
Every district.
Yes, I understand that, but we are the worst. We are the worst. This
Wow.
cutting is meaning is not cut everybody same.
If you look at it, we did 10 years of cutting in 1 year. But anyways, moving on. Moving on, Mrs. Romo.
Dr. Farrell, I have a question for two special teacher approved for Ann Mallory, and I remember Mayo and Miramon is layoff, no? For layoff.
They were laid off.
Uh-huh.
We're reemploying them. They're
Ann
coming
Mallory approved? Oh my gosh.
back. Right now,
Oh, he approved 86 teacher. No? Only two teacher for special education?
I will tell you,
I
Mr.
don't
Romo,
understand.
we had to go through several hoops to get that, and I I agree, but we had to go through several hoops, and Mr. McFarden gave her a tremendous amount of information before she said
So,
yes.
I don't know, but Calexico Unified School District neither teacher, regular teacher, and special education teacher more special. No, excuse
Yeah.
me. Excuse me. No.
Okay, Mrs. Romo, you have a motion to approve. Do you want to withdraw your motion then?
No, the motion approved was for Norma, and I.
You second the motion.
But I need amendment for this motion. But
Okay, so let me go through this motion and see if it passes.
I make the
Because
motion. I'll amend
no.
the motion. Well, I'm amending motion.
Okay.
I'm amending motion to not to approve the cellular phone stipend, and we approve the rest of them.
Okay, do I hear a second on that
Second.
motion? I have a second by Mr. Valenzuela.
That's an amended to the motion.
An amendment to the motion. All in favor of the amendment of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
no.
No.
Aye. Amendment to the motion passes 3-2. So the original amendment dies, right?
The motion is now amended, and so now you have to take a vote on the new amended motion, which is to approve this without the stipends.
Okay, now, do I have a motion to approve
Yeah, I already made the motion.
with the amendment of not paying the stipends?
Yes, I made the motion to approve.
Second.
You don't need to motion or second. All you need is to take a vote on the
again.
amended motion.
Okay. Well, I thought that's what I did. I thought that's what I did.
No, you asked for another
No,
motion.
I said I have a first and a second
Oh,
on
I'm
the
sorry.
amended
Okay.
motion. Do I hear?
Okay, yeah, so now you just take the vote.
Just both.
Okay, so we're voting on the amendment.
No, on the amended motion.
On the amended motion. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? No. No?
No, and I'd also like to point out that When we called for the question, there was no second and there was no vote.
When was the question called?
Mrs. Romo seconded. She did second it.
Yeah, and we didn't vote on it.
But an amendment.
So we have vote amendment.
You voted on amendment, but you didn't
Yeah.
vote on the call for the question.
I didn't hear it as a call for the question.
No?
I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
I did not hear that.
Oh, excuse me.
So when you vote?
Oh, my vote is yes. So the amended motion passes 3-2?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys. I did not hear a call for the question.
Okay. Classified.
Okay, now moving on to item J2, approve Personnel Commission classified employment report for July 19, 2012.
Madam President, I need abstain for Linda Luna, please.
Can we do them by item number?
Do you want?
By, not individually, but by individual item number.
Okay.
You can do that.
Yeah?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Second.
So, for item number 1, classified employments, promotions, demotions, and transfers, need a motion to approve item number 1.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion?
Discussion.
Okay.
I like to table the Linda case for the next meeting to give the time to clarify all the things clear.
Mr. Kim, is that a motion, an amendment to the motion?
That's like in discussion. That's what I'm discussing. I'd like to the board member consider to table.
Hello.
Let's see.
I'd like to consider the board member to consider to table this item, this Linda case, for the give them amount time to everything is clear, then we make the final decisions.
That's a form of your motion.
Yes, that's not discussions.
Discussion.
That I like to. We've been discussing, but the thing is, I like to reconsider the board members to do so.
Motion makers?
I'd like to make the amendment. I like to make the amendment.
I do not accept the amendment.
I know, but I'm making the amendments.
That's fine.
Mr. Kim, that's what I'm saying. Are you amending the motion?
Yes, I'm amending
because
the motion.
There's a motion
No.
to approve.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm amending the motion. Now, I was discussing. I'm amending the motion to table the Linda case to give the administration amount of the time to clarification everything in clear.
Do I hear a second for the change?
Second.
There's a second. All in favor of the motion to table, approve everything and table Linda Luna? No.
Aye.
Yes.
No, you're voting on the
You're
voting on the amendment.
The table.
Yeah,
To table.
Table and
No,
the rest
no, no.
is
We're
okay.
just table.
No, just
We're
one thing.
On
Just
the motion of the tabling Linda Luna.
Yes. Second. And
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Kim makes a motion. Mrs. Romo seconds it. All in favor of that motion?
Of that amendment.
Of
With
the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
no.
No. Okay. Table, that
So we go for the
amendment fails. And now the original motion to approve item number 1.
Has already been
Oh,
made.
yeah. Motion by Ms. Aguilar, seconded by Mr. Valenzuela. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
no.
Abstain.
Aye. Motion passes. 3 yes, 1 no, 1 abstention. Item number 2, classified employment report.
I make the motion to not to approve it. Under number 2.
Okay. I have a motion not to approve. Do I have a second? Hearing none.
Second. With
Number two, the
to not
stipend not to approve it.
with the exception of the stipends for the personal commissioners.
Wait, no, it's a second. A second can't change the motion.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I would like to amend. Well, let
No,
somebody
well-
get a second, then that's fine. I got
Are
it.
you dropping your second?
I'm dropping my second.
Okay. I have a motion not to approve item number 2. Do I hear a second? Hearing none? No, he dropped it.
Oh.
Hearing none? Do I hear another motion?
I'd like to make a motion to not approve with the exception of the personal commissioner stipends.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a first and a second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 No.
Abstention.
3 yes.
3 yes, 3,
One
motion
no.
passes, 3 yes, 1 no, 1 abstention. Item number 3, classified employment 2012 summer employment. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Item number 4, classified employment substitute and extra assignments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? I have a question. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask.
You forgot the question?
No, I didn't forget the question. On this assignment, this is substitutes for grounds maintenance workers. Was this position flown?
It was flown when we had the vacancy for the 2 groundsmen. This is the result of the people that remain on the eligibility list. My experience has shown from last year that the need for substitutes in 3 classifications always arise either because people are injured or absent. Custodian, groundsmen, and severely handicapped instructional aides. So this is just a way to predict and not have to wait in the event that we need a substitute, not have to wait for board approval. We have a list of substitutes that we can use from in the event that we get a position control form requesting that a substitute be filled. We could do so immediately if it's approved. It doesn't mean that this person will be placed to work. It'll just be eligible for this school year.
Okay,
Okay.
that was my question. If this is this a position or is this just
Substitute
on as
when
needed basis?
correct, as
Okay.
needed basis.
Thank you.
Madam President, we've run out of time. I'd like to make a motion to extend for 15 minutes.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to extend the meeting 15 minutes. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, I have a motion and a second for item number 4. No more discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. It is 10:05, meeting adjourned.